Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another of your spooky sessions. Now, I just want a quick word just to let you know that we are in the midst of this COVID-19, so please, the most important thing, stay safe, look after yourselves, wash your hands, hot drinks, hot soups, and if you have any faith, pray. If you have no faith, send up a good intention. Just ask for it to pass soon with a minimum loss of life. And give praise to your local health services, because they are the ones who are going to get us through this. Now, tonight I'm going to read you a short ghost story, and then I'm going to get into episode 10 of I Made a Deal with an Angel by Cythero. So the first story I'm going to read to you is called The Clock Charm. So please sit back, relax, as I read to you The Clock Charm, and I hope you enjoy it. Holly Justice was a very shy little girl. She didn't go out much. She didn't have many friends, and she didn't own much. Her mother left the house when she was 4, leaving her dad and her older sister, Jaylin. For as long as Holly could remember, she could never get along with Jaylin. No, that's an understatement. They hated each other to death. They would fight over the silliest things, such as who's better at swimming or who's the prettiest. And of course, only having a father didn't really help. He just laughed at the rivalry between the siblings and brushed it off as sisterly love. One day, about 7 years ago, Holly was arguing with Jaylin and complained that she had more ice cream than her. This caused their father to become very agitated. "Holly, get out of the house and cool your head before coming back in," he said. Holly happily complied, slamming the door behind her as she left the house. Holly was more than happy to leave the stuffy house and Jaylin behind. She wandered off to the park to mull over her life. She sat in the swings, swinging back and forth slowly. Holly couldn't help but wonder why her life sucked. Her mother was gone. Her dad wasn't the most compassionate man in the world. And worst of all, she had a sister like Jaylin. Fuming, she stormed off the swing and went somewhere else, only to encounter a strange old woman. She smelt of rancid butter, and her clothes didn't fare much better. Despite how Holly's instinct screamed at her to run away, she approached the old woman as she beckoned Holly closer. The old woman slipped a bracelet onto Holly and told her, "This is a very special bracelet. It will protect you. However, whatever you do, don't take the bracelet off. It will start ticking. And the moment it reaches 12 o'clock, you will die." Well, laughing, Holly just didn't really pay any attention to that. And then the woman gave off this cackle and disappeared into thin air. Holly was just left bewildered, looking down at the bracelet in her hand. The bracelet had an odd air about it. It had a calming yet chilling aura. It had some butterfly and flower charms on it, but what stood out the most was the fancy clock charm. Polly didn't pay much mind to that, but She never took it off. Well, it's now been a further 7 years since she got the bracelet. And now she's 18. And the hatred between the two sisters has only grown over the years. Jaylin tried to make Holly's life miserable. Every time she had a chance, she would take it. Jaylin would set the alarm clock an hour late, or switch the shampoo with shaving cream, putting hair dye in the conditioner, and so on. Jaylin knew her sister loved the bracelet, so one night when Holly was asleep, Jaylin sneaked into her room and ripped the bracelet off her wrist. This woke Holly up to find the horrifying sight that her bracelet was gone. And seeing her sister clutching the bracelet, she watched her run off. Holly knew she had to get the bracelet back. Despite having a sick feeling in the pit of her stomach, she pulled herself out of bed and ran after her sister. By the time Jaylin stopped, she was holding the bracelet over the edge of a nearby cliff close to their home. And before Holly could react, her sister dropped the bracelet into the churning water below. Holly dived in after it, and after a minute later she saw it sinking deeper and deeper into the flawless sea. Holly swam after it, but it was too late. She drowned. On calm nights, if you listen close to the ocean, you can hear Holly wailing for her bracelet. And if you pay her a visit, be sure not to wear a bracelet of your own, for she will drag you into the ocean along with her. So, my friends, this is your first story. What did you think of that? So just be careful, be mindful. If you go out for a midnight stroll and you're wearing a bracelet, don't walk too close to the cliff edge, because you never know. Someone may try and snatch it from you. And then where will you be? So now we're going to go on to our weekly serial of I Made a Deal with an Angel. We are now at episode 10, and it's getting more exciting. Where did we leave Sarah last week? Well, she won the battle with Esmeralda, so great there. She helped connect Esmeralda with a little bit of her humanity, which was great. But then, after they found out that Belial had done a runner instead of facing up to Lucifer, and Beelzebub brought the news of what Belial was up to, he then told Lucifer that Asmodai and Sarah were lovers. And that is not allowed in hell. So these two have been caught red-handed. How are they going to get their way out of it? Let's find out as I read you episode 10 of I Made a Deal with an Angel. And I hope you enjoy it. Now obviously Sarah's looking back at her life, but she's also talking about what she's doing in the present. And this is what she's doing in the present, I'll tell you now. She says, I was told to break the seal. I don't want to, but I can't disobey an order from my master. So I'm waiting for that stupid priest or angel to leave. I took that selfie. I'm kind of nervous for a few reasons. What if I do open the portal? That means hell's going to spill out onto Earth. And even if I do have a half-hearted promise from Asmodai that my family's going to be spared, I can't forget that Lucifer hates humans. But what if I don't open the portal? I then have to face the wrath of not only Lucifer, but Asmodai. And he is the avatar of wrath. Avatar of Wrath. I haven't gotten him super angry yet, but I'm scared to think of what he will do if I actually fail him. In all my years, I've never failed him. And that being said, he didn't have a whole lot of confidence that I could do this. I didn't ask to be summoned to Earth. Either way, I'm on thin ice. But now we're going to look back at Sarah's early life in hell. So we're going to pick up from last week. Lucifer motions to Asmodai and me to approach him. Lucifer narrows his eyes on Asmodai. Brother? Asmodai removes his helmet, kneeling before Lucifer. I can explain. Lucifer looks to me. You bought her soul from Belial under the pretense you could perform this experiment. You grew on her, and now you feel a more potent connection. So much so you risk everything, your station, and even your mere existence to have her. Asmodai's speechless, staring at Lucifer. I do the same. I'm also kneeling. Lucifer places his fingers onto the bridge of his nose, rubbing it in frustration. I'm petrified. Lucifer looks to Asmodai. I will put this very plain, Asmodai. You are the strongest fallen I have. You are the leader of my armies. Should, say, Belial begin the coup I think he's trying, you are likely to be whom he will reach out to. Asmodai begins. My lord, I will never... No, Lucifer says plainly. No, you would never. Because if you did... I suddenly can't breathe. It feels like someone is squeezing all the air out of me. I feel like a few ribs snap. More so, I feel like something is draining out of me. I can't describe it, but it hurts. It hurts like no other pain I've ever felt. It hurts deep in my heart like I'm dying. I will destroy her, Lucifer says simply. Asmodai's eyes grow wide. My lord, I am your faithful servant for eternity. I would never serve Belial under any condition. I fall to the ground, coughing and wheezing. The pain from my injuries remains, and I don't feel myself recovering. I feel weak and feeble. I'm shaking at this point. Asmodai rushes to my side. If you want to accept that weakness, Asmodai, then so be it. She will worm her way into your heart, and if she ever leaves, she will leave you the shell of what you once were. Remember that. Lucifer growls. I wince, looking up to Lucifer. I'm sorry, my lord. Silence! The tower shakes with his voice, and I see the wisps of purple smoke rise from his eyes. The only reason I do not destroy you now is that Belial has gone rogue. Right now, I need loyalty. He looks to Asmodai. And you being held hostage is the easiest method by which to guarantee it. Lucifer looks to Beelzebub now. Beelzebub, thank you for bringing this to my attention. I trust I am the only one that you brought this information to? Beelzebub stands. Of course, my lady. Before he can finish, Lucifer's hand is on Beelzebub's face. A horrible screeching and scratching noise is heard from Beelzebub's form, and it shifts and almost falls apart. Lucifer removes his hand as Beelzebub's form coalesces. Beelzebub, your only task now is to assist Asmodai in finding the root of Belial's plans. His whore will assist as well, being one of Belial's favourite succubi. She should have access to his operations' inner workings. Am I understood? Beelzebub bursts into a swarm of insects and disappears. Lucifer looks to both of us with agitation. It appears the experiment was not just a ruse to purchase your whore. Beelzebub used it to distract my attention. The tower shakes as his eyes swirl again. Go, now, before my mercy runs out. Discover Belial's treachery, and I may consider allowing the two of you to continue to exist as you are. Otherwise, I will debate only between ending your entire existence or hurling you both into the endless abyss. Asmodai nods, helping me to my feet. Right away, my lord. I stand, my hooves slipping, as I've trouble with my footing. Asmodai narrows his eyes to me as we get to the balcony. You acted suspiciously. I did no such. Asmodai slaps me hard. I tumble to the floor, whimpering as the sting of the hit still lingers. Are you trying to get yourself destroyed? Asmodai growls to me in a hushed voice. Do you think I enjoy hurting you? I don't. I hate myself more each time I've got to do this. I roll over some sitting on the ground, looking up to him. It's not like I enjoy it either. Asmodai clenches his fist to the point I see blood dripping from his hand. Master, stop, please. I say softly as I manage to barely get to my feet, climbing up his leg for support. I don't know about how Beelzebub found out. I'll be more discreet. I close my eyes. It also means you need to be more forceful. Asmodai is silent. I open my eyes, looking to him defeated. No one smacks their horse here. No one just yells at them. I wasn't the one acting suspiciously. Asmodai looks away. We need to do what he ordered us first. We'll discuss this later. Then he growls. Now go to your succubi horse and find out where your old master went, or I'll string you up before my army and let a whole lot of them have a go at you. I bow, and as I walk by him, I whisper, That's better. He whispers back to me, I'd never. I leap into the air before he can finish, flying towards the fields of lust, making sure to take the most direct route possible. I land eventually, much to the surprise of the succubi around me. Kaironisa is one of the first to greet me. Sarah, what are you wearing? I look down to my armour and scoff for a moment. The armour my master wants me to wear. Kaironisa frowns. Oh, hell, are we expected to fight? I nod. It's better than the alternative. Kaironisa shudders for a moment. Luckily, Lord Lucifer hasn't asked for me yet. Speaking of our respective masters, I begin, where's Belial? Kaironisa frowns. I don't know where he is. I clear my throat. Do you think maybe you know who might? Kaironisa narrows her eyes to me. Do you think if Belial were to be up to something, I would just tell you? I think for a moment. Then I grab Kaironisa by her cheeks and kiss her deeply. Kaironisa resists for a moment, but my eyes are on hers first, and I focus as I did with Esmeralda. Who would know where Lord Belial is? Kaironisa appears stunned and glances to her floating clipboard, flicking her finger through it. Mammon has been receiving a very heavy discount on his pleasures. Mammon? Pyranisa nods. I fly off to find Asmodai. Asmodai and I walk down many hallways into the labyrinth of greed. I glance at Asmodai as we head down the long staircase. So, I know he's the avatar of greed, but does he have any other qualities? Asmodai grumbles. He and Belai share similar traits. Lust and avarice are often mix and mingle. I roll my eyes. Never seen a rich man have trouble with women. Asmodai nods. Also never seen a rich man take his riches with him when he dies. Or his women, I chuckle. That I have seen, Asmodai says simply. I shudder as we get to the main floor. The air stinks of heavy incense, and the smoke burns my eyes slightly. Asmodai, as usual, is unfazed as he makes a right down a maze of hallways. I follow along and make sure not to lose Asmodai as he takes many turns and twists through the long basement. Finally, we get to a large room. The room is filled to the brim with weapons, armours, soul cores in chests, and I hear a succubus somewhere in the corner, gasping and gagging. I shiver as I remember the odd desires of Mammon. Asmodai heads towards the sounds, me in tow. We eventually get to the throne. On it, I spot the succubus, Brittany, a dirty blonde girl with brown eyes. She's covered in filth, a foul stench somehow overpowering the very strong incense. Mammon is sitting on the chair, underneath her, her riding him reverse cowgirl style, while he feeds her more filth. His hair is slicked back in a ponytail that goes down to his waist, and he's naked from the waist down. From the waist up, he has a leather shirt with golden buttons, a gold necklace, and multiple piercings in his nose and lips. On his hands, I notice there are multiple gold and silver rings on each finger, as he reaches for another bit of filth on Brittany and slips it past her lips. His wings are gilded. The brown feathers at the crest of his wings are golden, as are the tips of the feathers at the edge of his huge wings. Brittany gags as she continues to bounce on him. Swallow it, whore. You're filthy both inside and out. Wallow in that, yes. Mammon groans. Asmodai, without breaking a rhythm, he says, Brother, what a pleasant surprise. Care to have it, eh? Blood may mix well with everything else here. Asmodai's lips curl in disgust. I'd rather not sully my blade. Brittany gasps and then cries a bit. Then how may I be of service? Mammon lets out a groan and gives a few final thrusts into Brittany. Brittany cries out. I can't tell if it's in pleasure or in disgust, but I'm going with the latter. Mammon grins, slapping Brittany on the back of her head. Off you go, slut. Go on. I've business to get to. Brittany falls forward, gasping and pulling her clothing over herself. She retches as she tries to speak, recovering shortly afterward. Thank you, Lord Mammon. Mammon waves her off as he stands before us, naked from the waist down still. From simple observation, I discover that Mammon was made from a different mould than Asmodai, thankfully. Brittany had to suffer twice, it seemed. Brother, why do you barge into my parlour unannounced? He clasps his hands. You need a loan for the war effort? I can strike a nice little deal here, especially with that horse on the offering table. Asmodai takes a deep breath. We can negotiate the price of my whore another time. Mammon snickers. She looks very cute in that armour get-up. I've requested my charges wear many a kinky outfit, but It's only fitting our Lord of Wrath and his Grand General is fond of his concubine in armour. I look to Asmodai and hope he can maintain his composure. Asmodai glares. Stop stalling, Mammon. What's Belial up to? Mammon's face falls. What makes you believe I'd be aware of his activity? Because he's giving you a crazy discount on every succubus you order. That's not normal. Belial never cuts anyone a break. Mammon narrows his eyes on me. I bet I can guess who told you that. This lying little whore would dare sully my name and defy our master. I didn't answer him. Mammon grabs me by the throat. Answer me, you little harlot. Asmodai growls and shoves a blade through Mammon's chest. Mammon wheezes and falls to his knees. Brother, why? Asmodai snaps his fingers. A gag, hood, and chains appear in his hands. Because our Lord requests your presence. Mammon is kneeling before Lucifer now, his hands and wings chained, his head covered in a hood. Lucifer scans Asmodai, Mammon, and me. Let him speak. Asmodai pulls the hood off and removes the gag from his mouth. Mammon spits. The outrage! My liege, Asmodai's lost his mind. He came barging into the labyrinth and agreed just to bully me. You know I'm at your beck and call, my lord. Lucifer growls. Silence! Tower shakes again. Asmodai stated you were in some sort of pact with Belial. Belial, as it were, is not here. Lucifer looms over Mammon. What is he planning? Mammon grumbles. I'm unsure what he is planning at the moment, my lord. I had an agreement regarding his holdings and planning their purposes. Lucifer looks to me. Mammon, if he is guilty, is not just going to confess. Asmodai glares at me. If you are wrong about what you've told me about him, Slot, I will rip your intestines out through your mouth and force them back through your backside. While I dwell on that colourful image, a thought occurs. My lord? Lucifer looks to me, and I wilt slightly under his mighty gaze. What? After I compose myself, I start again. Who was it who began to offer the idea of making Esmeralda a demoness? Belial, Lucifer answers simply. The suggestion was a strange one, considering it would harm his prospects, but I had thought for once he wanted to aid the war effort. My lord, did he offer anyone other than Esmeralda? Lucifer shakes his head. No. He said only his succubus queen was the one he felt I should. Lucifer's face relaxes, as if he's had an epiphany. I see. He closes his eyes for a moment and opens them again. Esmeralda will be here shortly. However, if she is the one who was instructed to do this, she is not going to defy Belial easily. My lord, yes, she will, I corrected him. A pin could have dropped, and it would have excused itself for making such a commotion. Lucifer broke the silence with a slow inhale from his nostrils. Girl, I am not a fool. I know that as Belial is her master for eternity, she will not give him up without a decent struggle. Esmeralda soon lands outside the balcony, making her way towards us. I came as quickly as I could, my lord. Lucifer looks to me. I will destroy you in an instant, if you cannot draw the information out of her. I shudder a bit and walk over to Esmeralda. Hey, can I ask you something? Esmeralda raises an eyebrow at me. What is it, Bog Trotter? I whisper something too low for her to hear. She bends down. What? Speak up, you're tiny. I kiss her deeply, locking my eyes with her, keeping my lips locked to hers until I feel her kissing back. Esmeralda gasps as I break the kiss. She leans in again for another, but I stop her. No, pet, listen to me. What were Belial and Mammon scheming? Tell our lord, and I will give you another. Esmeralda licks her lips, her eyes looking far away as she looks to Lucifer. My lord, my master instructed me to provide Mammon with all the succubi he wanted in exchange for a secured vault which would hide away Belial's wealth. Mammon, in exchange, kept tabs on all power artifacts that he may move into his reach. Their goal was to pull themselves to the surface and dominate it. Master told me to drink heavily from you whenever I could, even to the point where I could not sustain the energy. I know not why. I added, because if she was a mindless hell beast, she wouldn't be able to tell anyone of Belial's plans. Mammon glares at Esmeralda. You dumb bitch! What sort of succubus cannot resist mind control from another weaker succubus? Asmodai growls. She is my succubus, not Belial's, and as such, she is stronger. I add sheepishly. Also, Esmeralda isn't a succubus anymore. She's a greater demon, and I can control the demons with my seduction. Mammon laughs. Nonsense! Esmeralda's whimpering. Sarah, you promised. I blush. I went, oh, all right, just a sec. I turn to Esmeralda and kiss her again. She picks me up as I do this. Before things go too far, I break the enchantment looking at a confused-looking Esmeralda. What did you do to me? Esmeralda looks to Lucifer and then kneels. My lord, I had no choice but to follow Lord Belial's request. Lucifer ignores her and turns to Mammon. So she speaks the truth, of course. Mammon whimpers. My liege, I will order Asmodai's armies to raid the Labyrinth of Greed and pull from it every bauble, every trinket, every single soul core within it, and dump them into the abyssal void if you do not tell me precisely why Belial is possessing someone on Terra at this instant. Lucifer threatens. Mammon's eyes go wide. No, my lord. Of course, Belial had the idea. I merely supported it. I always keep an ear and out for the powerful relics, and one created by your daughter fell onto the earth. What was created by my daughter, Mammon? Lucifer shouts. I named it myself. It's leftover angel blood from when Ragnar tore through the Guardian Temple. Mammon blabbers. Asmodai balks. That's Lord. Mammon blinks, looking at Asmodai. Lord Ragnar, do not disrespect her heritage. His voice booms. Mammon gulps and nods. Yes, when Lord Ragnar slew the guardian angels, their blood coalesced in a pool within a gash she left on the floor, and after centuries it solidified into what I call the sanguine amber. Lucifer closed his eyes. How much of this sanguine amber was there? Mammon thinks for a moment. Several pounds of it, my lord. Lucifer grits his teeth. And Belial seeks it even now? Who has it? What power possesses this amber? Mammon frowns. A simple sinner, my lord. He cleans up after the murderers for a price. As his sin is greed, I'm very familiar with him. Does this mortal have any affinity for the Almighty? Lucifer queried. Less than most, my lord. I nicknamed him Red Fred, as he cleans up the blood of deeds performed by murderers and adulterers. Mammon starts to whimper. I beg you, my lord, lord of all hell, O Lucifer, great morning star, please take pity on my insolence. Pity? Lucifer nods and gets down on his haunches. I will not harm you, Mammon. You came clean, told me all I wished to know. He looks to Asmodai. Raid the labyrinth. Your legion shall have their free reign over all and any spoils within it. Mammon's eyes grow wide. No, my lord, my master, no. Lucifer grabs him by the neck. You will watch as Asmodai's legions fumble through your vaults, steal to their heart's content, and ravage your precious collections. And then Lucifer grins. And you can thank Belial when he gets back. Asmodai flies off immediately, shouting and commanding his army to do as Lucifer ordered. Mammon skulks off, leaving me rather awkwardly with Lucifer. Esmeralda, get out of my sight. Esmeralda makes haste to leave, standing, bowing, and flying off without a word. Lucifer moves to his throne, sitting on the huge thing, and looks to me. Girl, come here. I walk up to his throne and kneel. Yes, my lord? Belial at this moment is likely to try and use this sanguine amber to pull himself into the surface with his full might. From there, he will likely draw his armies, and then he would more than likely have summoned Mammon. He paused, looking out towards the labyrinth of greed as Asmodai's armies ransack it. From there, I can only assume he would guard the gate and prevent us from ever opening it. With us so close, I, of course, want him to fail. Of course, my lord. Enough kissing my ass. You're a bright girl. You were onto Belial's ruse and the plan behind it well before I noticed. Likely because I was so concerned with the idea of ridding myself of the succubi. They are so human at times. Sickening. I frown. It's either us or even the she-beasts in the lakes of fire. Lucifer laughs and stands. I knew I liked you. Fair enough, girl. Here's my bargain. Remain loyal to me, along with Asmodai, and I will allow your fast to continue. I smile. Under the condition, mind you, that Asmodai stops pussyfooting around with you in public. Those backhands to your face may as well be kisses on the cheek. I blush. And stop that, he growls. It's ridiculous to see a succubus blush. I nod at him. I will do my best, my lord. Lucifer then walks towards the balcony, overlooking the chaos below. Loyalty is now in question in hell. I must flex my power and show my true superiority to all below. He turns round to me. Sarah, Asmodai, you shall be my new inquisitors. And there we have it, my friends. The end of part 10. So, he's allowed Asmodine and Sarah, on a condition that they do as they're told, they can continue being mothers, which I think is mighty good of them. He's found out about Mammon's treachery. He's on to Belial. So let's see what happens next week. Because now he's asked Sarah and Asmodai to be the new Inquisitors. You can bet your backside they're going to get results. There's going to be chaos and hell. Anyway, let me know what you think about that in the comments. And also let me know what you thought about the first story too. What do you think about the actions of Holly's sister? A rotten thing to do, wasn't it? Drop her bracelet into the ocean. Evil. Ended up with her sister dying. That was evil. But that's just my personal opinion. Anyway, my dears, it is now well past my bedtime. And I really do hope that you enjoyed both stories tonight. I hope at least the stories that I read to you are giving you a little bit of a distraction from all the stress that's happening around us right now in the world. Each and every one of us are being affected. It's not just a chosen few. So all we can do is just follow the advice given by the health services. Listen to what the health services have to say. And we'll be okay. Anyway, I will see you all next week. So until then, I am going to say thank you very, very much for being here. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the stories tonight. And let me know what you thought of them. If anybody has any requests, please let me know. And I'll see what I can do for you. And hopefully, next week, we'll have the start of your true crime. So, wish me luck that I can find you. Well, they're all awful stories, aren't they? But maybe one that you might have heard before, but we'll look at it from a different angle. I love all of you. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Or the best weekend that you can have, considering the circumstances. And I will see you all again very, very soon. Take care of yourself, guys. Good night.